Before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that I'm currently working on a graphic novel titled Lady Satan, an Angel in a Killer's Dress. In order to stay up to date with this project and any of my future projects, then you can head over to luciferstorm.com and sign up to my mailing list. Alternatively, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube. Links are in the description box down below. Hey guys, how's it going? How the devil art thou? Hopefully you're keeping well and keeping safe. So the other day I had a very talented musician who I know get in touch with me, and he said, hey man, I've been recording a little album during this lockdown, a cheeky little number that I'm going to be publishing online so that everyone can have it for free, absolutely free of charge. There's just one problem. I need album art for it. I don't have any art for the cover whatsoever. Could you help me out? And I said, yeah, of course I can. I can quite happily do that for you. So he told me what he wanted on the cover. I penciled something up quickly, sent it to him and said, is this what you're looking for? He said, yes, love it, go right ahead. So I went ahead and inked and rendered the piece. But before I started inking and rendering the piece, I turned on some screen capture software to capture the whole of the process, which only took about 45-50 minutes at most. And if you want to see that video of the real-time footage, then check the description box down below. You will find a link to that video, as well as a link to the album, which is called Cover Up, a Lockdown album, where you can download it for free of charge. It might be your thing, it might not be. The only way to find out is to check out that link and check out the album for yourself. But in this video, I've taken that footage of the entire digital inking process and I've sped it up a bit, and I'm now going to give you my commentary over that footage. So the first thing I think that should be pointed out is whenever someone asks me to illustrate an album cover, which, you know, it doesn't happen every day, but I have had it a few times in my career, I always like to make sure that whoever's requesting the album cover, whether it be a band or a solo artist, that they know what they want on the cover. Because I've had it before where people have said, you know, just draw whatever you want. And it's like, okay, well, I'll draw my comic book then. You know, if you don't have a rough idea, at least, I can't help you out, because I'll just draw shit that I would want on an album cover. But it's not my album, it's yours. So you have to tell me what you want, and I can tell you whether I can help out or not. And in this case, when I was approached, Xander just straight up said, hey man, can you do me a cover? I want it to have this. He had an original idea that involved a black padlock, but he very quickly decided against that and was like, no, actually, what I want is I want a character who's wearing a COVID mask. And now I thought to myself, what the hell is a COVID mask? You know, that's kind of vague, because he might be talking about like the PPE kind of stuff that the people at the NHS are wearing. And by the way, everyone at the NHS, you are fucking heroes. You have my full respect. I'm out there every Thursday at 8 PM on the dot, clapping away for you guys. You guys are fucking heroes. Anyway, moving on from that quick little bit, yeah, you know, I thought, is it like, did he mean like what the NHS people are working, like the PPE stuff, or does he mean like these more like rectangular medical looking masks or whatever? I decided to go for a dust mask, you know, the kind of stuff that people wear when they're spray painting and stuff. I thought that was a safer bet. And you know, He didn't ask for there to be anything in the background. He just said, I want a white background, character wearing a COVID mask. So if he hadn't have said that, I would have been thinking, oh, okay, he wants the character like really small, somewhere in the center of the canvas, and like an empty high street surrounding them or whatever, which would take like a fair bit of time. But I think he wanted something pretty quick, because he was close to finishing the album and wanted to get it out there as soon as possible. So because he mentioned that he was just a character with a white background, I thought, okay, so we'll bring it right close up. You know, when you want someone to connect with a character, regardless of how much they know about that character or not, you are going to have better chance of your audience connecting with that character through a close-up shot than any other type of shot. So if you've only got one image and you want people to kind of connect with that character as best as possible, a close-up shot is probably your best bet. So that's what I went with, but I didn't want the close-up shot to be centered. I thought that would defeat the purpose, so I shifted them to the side where, you know, half their face is cut off. Now, look, there's probably loads of album covers out there with artwork like that or a photo like that. But this wasn't a case of trying to make it original. It was giving the musician what they wanted. And, you know, I penciled it all first real quick. It only took like 15-20 minutes. I normally take a lot longer on penciling. And I threw it over to them and said, is this what you want? If it is, I'll start inking and rendering now. And he was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. I love it. So I went in there and just got on with it. But I didn't realize until I started the inking that this character looks a lot like one of my characters called Unity. And then I was like, hold on, I've been drawing Unity a lot recently, because Unity is a character that I've had for many, many years, almost a decade now. And I keep trying to do stuff with her, but there's something that always kind of like makes me go, no, it's not working out. You know, it has potential to, but it's not working out. And I think it's because I've always hated the character design. So recently I've been like, no, I'm going to redesign her and get her to look the way I want her to look, or at least as close to want her to look as possible. And I feel that I've been doing that, but I didn't realize it until I started the inking that I was like, this character on this cover looks a lot like Unity. Doesn't have the eyebrow piercing, but still looks a lot like Unity and stuff. And I thought, nah, it's probably just me. And then later on, Xander actually messaged me and said, dude, is this your character? I was like, maybe not. That's up to you. You know, so if anyone looks at her and thinks, oh, that's Unity, they're right. And if they look at her and think, no, that's not Unity, they're right. That's the way I see it. You're going to see that I have a couple of bad habits when it comes to inking. And I'm going to be pointing one of them out real soon, because it's going to be coming up. Here it is. It's the eyebrows. I have a really bad habit when it comes to inking eyebrows. As you can see, the pencil, you know, the eyebrow is just a solid shape, which is kind of like visual shorthand. And really, I should ink it as a solid shape. But I don't. I go in there and I start scratching away as if I'm drawing every single individual hair. And that just makes it take longer. And trust me, I know a few editors that if they saw, if I handed them a piece of artwork and the eyebrows were like that, they'd be like, oi, stop that. Fucking stop that now. So, if you can take anything away from this, don't ink eyebrows the way that I do. It's not the best way to do it. There are easier, quicker ways of doing it. I tend to spend a lot more time on the eyes when I draw a character's face and when I ink a character's face. I just have a thing about eyes. When it comes to characters, they're normally the first things I draw on a character is the eyes. You know, they're the windows to the soul for a reason, you know. So yeah, with this piece, because I'd been redesigning Unity, I'd also been trying out a different rendering style. I tend to do a lot of heavy shadows and a lot of blacks, as you can see with the t-shirt. Now, with the t-shirt, I do something that I really love to do when it comes to characters' clothing. I think I do this because pretty much 99% of my clothing is black. And any of the stuff that isn't black, you probably won't see at all. You know, it's stuff that I'll wear when I'm at home and no one else can see me. So when it comes to characters' clothing, there tends to be black clothing somewhere, and instead of kind of doing a rim light around the edge of the clothing so that it isn't just a solid black, I tend to just fit it in solid black. Before I do that, you'll see that I draw like little bits of like the drapery and little details and stuff. I'll then fit it in solid black, and then I'll drop the opacity of that layer, which I'm doing now. And as you can see, I just get a white brush or a white pen and I go over the little details that I've already drawn, and then I bring the opacity back up, and I just think that looks so much nicer when it comes to my style of art. But and here I'm adding little details that, you know what, people probably aren't gonna notice, so I don't know why I add them. I really don't, because once that cover's in print, you're not going to notice little bits like that. Like, there's little bits of details that I tend to do in characters' eyes that once in print, you're not going to notice it. You're really not going to notice it. But oh no, it's there. That's what it is. So yeah, I changed my rendering style for this slightly because of like I said, I like to do heavy shadows. Very thick, solid, heavy blacks. But I've been practicing like my cross-hatching a bit more because I never do cross-hatching because I just don't think it suits my style. So when it came to redesigning Unity and working on this cover, I was like, you know what, I'm going to just try and do less shadows and a bit more cross-hatching, see if I can get better at it. And yeah, I think it's turned out all right on this cover. I still have a lot of practice to do. But it was worth doing it for this cover because if I had just kept with my original style, where it's like the heavy shadows, little to no cross-hatching whatsoever, then from the light source that I'm using, all the shadows would be on the side of her face that you can't see. And if I changed the light source to the other side, then her whole face would be in shadows. You wouldn't see shit. And it would ruin the artwork, I think. So I decided to do it this way with the cross-hatching and stuff. I was referencing like some Dave Keown art? He's a Canadian artist. He worked on Incredible Hulk. And some of the issues that he did on Incredible Hulk look fucking amazing. I had a couple close by at all times, so I always had something to reference when I was like, okay, I'm going to do some cross-hatching here. Let me just flip through these pages real quick, see if I can find something that, oh yeah, I like how he's done it there, kind of thing, and learn from that. And I found that when I was doing that, I found there was a small part of my process that switched places. Normally, I draw I do all the line art, and then I fill in the solid black areas. Then I do this thick separation line, where I go around the silhouette of the character, and then certain parts that are separated, I just quickly outline them with this like thick line, and then I do the rendering. But because for some reason, when I start doing like this cross-hatching rendering, I tend to do the line art, then fill out the blacks, and then I do the rendering, and then I do the separation line. And I don't know why. It's something that I noticed I was doing whilst doing this, because the separation line was literally the very last bit that I did, which I think is about to come up now. And, I didn't have to do too much of it. It was literally just around the head, just under the jawline slightly, by the neck, and just around the mask. And I don't know what it is. Like, art can look good, but I just think that when you do that separation line, it just pops. It just looks so much better. So there you have it. That's my commentary. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be doing some more videos like this in the near future. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you once again, and until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay awesome.